Welcome in, everybody. It's the coach. This is Madden 20 on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got a terrific matchup on tap between the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football.
Okay, Coach, so the snow and rain have stayed out of the forecast, but we're in for a cold afternoon at Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, PA. Today, it's an AFC North matchup between the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line just across the 25. So here come the Ravens now ready to get the football for the first time. They will be led out by the former Heisman Trophy winner back in 2016. Always a handful to contain, Lamar Jackson.
Brandon, I don't know about you, but when I heard he threw 5 touchdown passes last week, I thought, well, he's going to be the AFC Offensive Player of the Week. I didn't need to hear any other stats, and it turned out to be right.
That's exactly right. It seemed like every time we turned around, he was throwing one in the end zone, but he doubled down. He said, I see 5 more in this game. Challenge accepted.
Challenge.
On 2nd and 10, Jackson gets it off to Freeman. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And it'll be a 3rd and about 13. And this opening drive not going to plan. This is now 3rd and 13. Off the play fake. Here's Jackson. Airing one out for Boyd. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning. Hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. First carry for James Conner. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. The Steeler first down on the pickup of 11 yards. He was well over 100 yards last week. He told us this week, a little ambitious, said he wants to hit that 200 mark. We'll see.
Makes sense, though, doesn't it? Have we ever run into a running back that had a great game the week before that didn't think that's just going to naturally
He's got the lane, and there he goes. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. A great effort there. His 2nd touchdown on the season as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And on the first drive, 3 and out. And I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for.
On 2nd and 9, Jackson. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace. Well, the good thing about covering any game I do with you is I know that there's no problem with rhythm. Now, what we're watching offensively, A little bit of a problem there.
Yeah, fun on the first drive, looking at another one here. Just a little slow. You know, they were talking about a fast start, but that hasn't been the case.
Yeah, and let's face it, any team we cover always talks about a fast start.
That's true.
But it's not necessarily going to happen just because they say so. And whether it's the script, whether it's, you know, just what they're going through, whether they're seeing different defenses, they're going to have to figure it out as this game moves on.
Tackle made by Emerson Griffin. And a peek now at the offense for Pittsburgh.
And we expected to have already talked about this unit. We didn't get a chance to hit on them on the opening drive because they scored so quickly. But that's the kind of unit this is. A quick strike offense. I expect to see them taking their shots all game long. And if that's the case, we'll find ways to talk about this group.
They follow up the first down 1-yard run with a minimal gain of 2.
All right, let's go ahead and detail this situation here. 3rd and long coming up. Back near your own goal line. I would be very hesitant about throwing the football in this situation.
Maybe just run up the middle?
Yeah, I think that might be the spot for them. You got to try and find some space for your punter because you don't want him backed up where he has to alter what he does.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
51 yards on the punt there. And the Ravens, they'll take over. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a 1st down and change our momentum?
Freeman again, a 1st down carry. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. That's good for a Raven 1st down, 15 yards there. Consecutive plays now where that offensive line has really created a lot of space.
And we've seen the confidence rise, haven't we? It borders on arrogance now, and that's that good arrogance, believing you can run the football whenever you get good and ready.
Now left side, a completion to his tight end. Defensively, a solid response after giving up back-to-back 1st downs. They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. Now it's Jackson. And Jackson cannot get away, and he'll go down. He is proving his worth defensively, getting the sack here. That comes after being named the AFC Defensive Player of the Week for his performance in last week's game.
He's stacking games together, isn't he? I mean, you just mentioned what he did the previous week to be named AFC Defensive Player of the Week, continuing to play at that level. And when you get that kind of confidence going, those kind of guys are hard to stop.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
Well, it certainly appears that they're going to try and keep getting him the football. It's the 3rd time they've looked in his direction. Unfortunately, haven't completed one yet, but I'm not sure they're going to shy away from it. They feel like they've got something there, and they want to capitalize on it.
I think you're right. We're only in the 1st quarter, so a lot of opportunities ahead. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now, seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
They'll run on 1st down. Swift, and he'll get this from the 25 to the 30 for a pickup of 5.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
Ball on the 30, they'll come up with a 2nd and 5. On 2nd down, Connor looking for space. He takes this from the 30 to the 34.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the 2nd half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the 1st half, maybe not so much in the 2nd half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
They'll try and run for it with Connor. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. A loss of a yard, and it brings up fourth.
Not the result they were looking for there on third down. They end up taking a loss on the play. The only person happy now, the punter, gets to go out there and show Mom that he gets to play in the game.
It's a net of 40 there, punt of 48, and a return of 8. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Jackson and the Ravens come up now, 1st and 10 at their own 24. Jackson fakes the give and keeps it. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. A check on the numbers by Moore last week. 4 catches, 82 yards.
And he's able to pull that last pass in, but this is usually a pretty tough unit to try and maneuver against. They're in the top 10 in the league against the pass, and you and I both know there's not much difference between 1 and 10.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 12 yards to pick up there, good for a Raven first. He can't bring him down.
The weight room does work.
They get 14 on that one. That's good for a Baltimore first down.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people up to block in front of him? Either fellow receivers or offensive linemen. That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3. So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Now it's Jackson. And he's got his man on the out route. They get 14 on that one. That's good for a Baltimore first down. First red zone chance now for the Ravens. They have a 1st and 10 at the 18. They go play action now. Jackson. And that'll be incomplete. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better, got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They've got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
Jackson throwing here complete to Boyle. And they'll lose yardage here, knocked back to the 19-yard line. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11. The last completion actually lost a yard, so now they'll need to convert on 3rd down. Now the throw on 3rd down, knocked away and incomplete. Boy, excellent coverage there. Last week he had the interception, one reason why he was the AFC Defensive Player of the Week.
So no jokes about not having hands, right? Because he got the pick last week. This week, he's knocked down a ball in this game so far. Let's even get an interception as this one continues.
No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky high.
This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Out comes the Steeler offense now, ready to see what they can do here. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
On 1st down, Swift. And this will leave them a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
On 2nd down, it's Connor, and he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. He's had his eyes on 7,000 career rushing yards, and with that last effort, he has hit that mark. What a career.
And that is the number to focus in on, because oftentimes we talk about where do they rank all time. We're not there yet. He's not knocking on the top 10 or the top 20, but over 7,000 yards in a career, fantastic.
It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
And they'll try the jet sweep here. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. 7 yards there and a 1st down.
Anytime the offense shows what they call a shot play or a chunk play where they're trying to get big yardage, sometimes people just call it gadget plays, and you hold it to a gain that we just saw there, you feel pretty good about yourself as a defense.
This is Connor. A gain of 10, good for a Steeler first down.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. Right back to Connor here on 1st. And this time the yards won't come so easy as they'll in fact tackle him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
Allen's throw is complete. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. A 3rd down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough.
That's a tremendous group effort there, because when you talk about offensive lines, the best ones, talk about guys that play in harmony, in sync, and getting things done, and they did that on that play.
Yeah, especially on 3rd and 1. Got to be in sync, and he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. James Conner, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Steelers, they broaden their lead.
Well, partner, that was another explosive run, and one thing I've learned in our time in this game, yes, the offensive line has to get a lot of credit, but for big runs to occur, the wide receivers have to block well downfield.
And then you have to have a good guy carrying the ball too, right?
Oh, without a doubt. You need that difference maker lugging the rock.
Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And the Ravens taking the field. They've probably got some adjustments to make because they've moved the football okay at times, but they haven't been able to get anything consistently going, have they?
What you worry about is it almost turns into a basketball game where one team's coming down and hitting threes, and you're coming back and getting twos, and you steadily lose ground. In this situation, you're talking about touchdowns to field goals. They want to put in the end zone and put those sixes on the board.
Yeah, they've been settling. That's why they're down on the scoreboard right now. Now, the first play of the drive there is incomplete. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Jackson now. This one into the hands of Burton. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
To throw is Jackson. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Y'all playing the wrong football.
On the counter, Devontae Freeman. And he'll be about a full yard shy of the 20 at the 19-yard line. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Here's Michael Pilardi now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. This is fielded at the 27. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. Here's James Conner now as he trots back onto the field. And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the 2nd quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had. Right. Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated, because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here. From the 40 now on second down. Allen.
All right, that one fell incomplete there, but the best quarterbacks, they'll miss on 40% of their throws, somewhere in that neighborhood, similar to a great hitter in baseball who's going to fail 7 out of 10 times and still have a great year. In this case, you want perfection, but way better that it hits the ground instead of going to an opposite color jersey.
Open man has got it. It's complete. The second of their 3 timeouts, as the clock will stop with 33 seconds to go in the first half. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Allen. On the catch, it's Crowder. That's back-to-back plays of over 20 yards. Operating from the red zone now, Allen. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. He was looking for Jamison Crowder there, but it's going to be second down. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. Boswell's kick is good, and that will extend their lead here to 17-6. So a capper there to a pretty good first half.
And I love the way that they put a chokehold on the clock and pretty much drained everything before they put the field goal on the board as they headed into the half.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. Time here for likely one play, then off to the locker room, and they're going to have some adjustments to make.
They certainly will, and I think a lot of people are thinking to themselves, all right, take the knee, get out of here, regroup. But how will the head coach and his staff approach halftime? Will it be angry? Will it be clinical? Will they be calm? Will they just let it all out? Who knows? I'm going to be a fly on the wall for this one, though.
The Steeler offense now with a football first here to begin the third quarter. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. On second down now, it's Connor, and he'll be tackled at about the 35. And give him about 4 on the play, but he's marked short, so it'll be third and about the length of the football. They'll stay on the ground with Connor again. And he'll be brought down with the first down and a late flag here, too. And he may get a few more tacked on for good measure. So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. The Steelers picking up 15 yards there at a first down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. On 1st and 10 is Connor. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
On second down, Swift. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4. Allen from the gun on 3rd down. Man open, it's Moss complete. And he will have a first down at about the 21-yard line. That good for 6 as they keep this drive right on rolling. They'll run on first down. Swift. And able to fight forward inside the 15 to the 13. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. On second down now, it's Connor. And they get to him quickly here as he's stopped right around the 13. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive. They're trying to keep the drive going. This will be play number 8. It's 3rd and 2. Working out of the shotgun. Here's Allen. And a quick throw here. That's complete. And he's able to pick up the first down before he's tackled right at the 10. And they got 3 yards. That's enough. A conversion, and now it's 1st and goal. They'll run here with Connor. And a short pickup there down to about the 9. It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up 2nd and goal. Defensively, pretty good start there with their backs against the wall.
That's a win for the stop troops right there. And if I'm them, I get a little bolder now. They won the first battle. Keep coming after them and put the pressure on them.
2nd down and goal. Allen. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on. 3rd down.
When you got your backs in the shadow of your goal line, you've got to be physical in that situation because there's not a whole lot of space, not a lot of wild plays that can be run there.
It's put up or shut up time. Defensively, nice job just to make sure they didn't complete it on that play. Allen now looks to throw. And caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. James Washington, his first touchdown on the year. And the Steelers, they broaden their lead. Still plenty of time left in the game, but now starting to pull away a little bit. Get some breathing room with that one.
And I don't want people to think that NFL locker rooms are cookie cutter, that everyone's saying the exact same thing in every situation. But I do know that all 32 teams have an emphasis on starting fast. Game, the second half, no matter what, whether it's first 5 minutes, first 3, whatever, this was a big score to start the second half.
This will be taken in at the 1. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown in the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
Freeman again. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
Offside, defense.
And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
After the penalty, here's Freeman. Call it a gain of a couple there as it'll leave him with a 2nd and just 3. On 2nd down, Johnson. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down.
They're making it look easy out there. Another 1st down. So far on this drive, let me do this little bit of math here. 4 plays, 3 1st downs.
That's a pretty good recipe for success. And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. Back now in Pittsburgh. It's the Ravens with possession of the football, but trailing on the big board as we get set for the 4th. From the 45 on 2nd down, Jackson. And he's got the hook up to Moore. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 24-yard line. Defensively, you said coming in earlier in the broadcast, the magic number was 20 points for you. That's what you thought they would have to hold this offense to or less than. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Tyler Boyd, his 6th touchdown of the season, and the Ravens get a bit closer.
I wonder if he changed anything on his play sheet or they just executed better. Because they had 2 previous drives that ended in field goals. Before this one, they finally were able to put into the end zone.
Well, whatever he did, speaking of the offensive coordinator, might be using that formula going forward. It worked there.
Yeah, it worked very well. He and his field general in pretty good sync right now. They're starting to move the ball well.
This one fielded at the 5. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line.
Let's go.
There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. He's been a good workhorse. I know we use the word workhorse a lot, but he's been a good workhorse for him in this one.
No doubt about it, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's what you're looking for if you're a back, because that means everything's come together for you. Big guys up front have created space. You've run through it. You've probably gotten some help even from the wide receivers who want to catch passes as opposed to block, but they're helping out too.
Yeah, everyone's pitching in. He's had a good game. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. On the run is Connor. And an alley to run. And a loose football. And it's picked up by the Ravens. And the return here will go to the 31-yard line.
Partner, that one looked like it was over. I mean, they had control, had the football, and the defense had to make a play in order to keep them in the game. That's exactly what they did.
And now that door ajar, 2-score game, so hold on here, not done in the 4th. The pass there over the middle to start things out. He'll be dropped at the 25 after a gain of 6. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Now Jackson. And he's got it. Got his man on the end route. Complete. And he'll get it down this time to the 17.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route. Drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Now Jackson on 1st down. He's got Burton here. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the 1st down completion. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch. Good for 8 yards. Jackson will throw again. And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's 3rd down. The Ravens on 3rd down. A pretty woeful 0 for 5 thus far. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Jackson, he's going to find his tight end Boyle. And he has the 1st down before he's tackled at the 5. And a 2-score game, obviously, every play, every 3rd down, like we saw there, magnified, big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to 3rd down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal. 2nd and goal from inside the 5.
65.
Here's Jackson. And it's caught. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Nick Boyle, his 3rd touchdown now on the year, as his guys are back within a single score. Boy, it's nice to have that big, reliable target you can go to.
Each and every time. A lot of people see that position as a fallback. Throw it to them when all else fails. Not at all. This guy can make plays, and that's exactly what he just did.
Yeah, play here for a touchdown. But he will not get in here. He's stopped up short of the goal line, and this will remain a 5-point game. So the defense gets the stop. I know it's situation to situation, but who has more pressure there, offense or defense, when they go for 2?
I truly believe it's the defense has more pressure because the offense has an entire playbook wide open from the 2-yard line. You can run it, you can throw it. So defensively, I think most teams are going to be aggressive and force the issue and try and bring pressure.
And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. Right now clinging to a one-score lead, Charles, and I think operating within that 4-minute offense with a little less than 4 minutes to go applies here, right?
It certainly does, and that means the playbook is still wide open. But you are a little bit more careful about what you're calling. You want plays that are going to gain yardage, how would you say it, consistently, right? You don't need the big shots downfield, but make sure the clock continues to run. Pile up the first downs. And the goal? End the game with your quarterback kneeling down at the end, and you still have the lead.
Again, it's Connor. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
First and 10 at the 43-yard line.
On first down, Connor. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. It'll wind up being a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd and 12.
You know, it's become cliche, but we have seen it and observed it. When runners have days like what we're seeing right now, they often take their offensive linemen out for steaks afterwards, don't they? They all go buy them dinner. But after a play like that, he might reduce him, might go to the corner and just grab a hot dog or two, huh?
Hey, I mean, they've still been blocking for him well in this game. They don't get one mulligan up front.
Okay, so what we're saying then is we're going petite filet instead of porterhouse.
8 ounces is good.
All right, just checking.
2nd and 12, and you'd have to assume another all-out effort to stop the run is coming. On the counter, it's Connor. So fresh out of the 2-minute warning, and here's another timeout taken with 1:55 remaining. This is a big third down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here. Allen to throw. And that is incomplete. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. Here's Jordan Berry now as he's on to punt for Pittsburgh. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. And a bit of a mistake there. This is well into the end zone for a touchback. Lamar Jackson marching back onto the field. And those numbers, they kind of tell the story of his game so far. Started off not so hot. Now he's really heated up.
And remember, he signed up for duty as the guy who leads the team, right? The field general, the signal caller. So when things go rocky early, he can't just exit out and ask someone else to pick things up. He's got to do it himself, and that's what he's done here in this game.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Now left side on the swing pass. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28. The Ravens going to use the second of their timeouts, as they'll get it with just over 90 seconds to go in the ball game. Second down pass play got him 8 yards. Now they've got a third and a couple remaining. And he will find his man on the outside. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. They got exactly what they wanted there. Out route, catch, get out of bounds, stop the clock.
And I have to criticize defense here because you know the situation. You want to keep them inbounds and have the clock run. So I'm sitting on the outside portion of the field and not letting them throw an out route. Throw anything inside and I'll make the tackle. An out route? That's not the way you're supposed to play it.
And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Now Jackson. He's going to let it fly. And that'll be incomplete. Now, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down. These are the spots, this stage of the game, where it pays to have speed on the perimeter, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and in the second quarter, he may very well run by him, but in this situation, I know as a defender, I'm loosening up a couple of extra steps that allowed him to run with.
Defenders giving chase, but I don't think they're going to get there. He takes it across for the touchdown, and they've taken the lead late in the final minute of the 4th.
Wow.
Wow, I know it's a never-say-never situation, but to me, that looks like that's the one that's going to finish them off.
The score that puts them in front here late, but not. You got to rally your kick team, don't you, and say the last thing we need is a big return. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down.
I think we can figure out why they went for two there, right? Up one, you want to make it a field goal difference if at all possible. They didn't get it. Now they've got to play some defense down the stretch.
Yeah, not much margin for error now for your D. They just have to get it into range. This one fielded at the 5. And he breaks it all the way out to the 38-yard line. Great return. Josh Allen in the offense now. Down by 1. A little over 30 seconds remaining. Their long win streak in great peril as they come up 1st and 10. Looking for Godwin, and he's got him complete. The Steelers signal for the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 25 ticks remaining on the clock. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. He'll look to throw. That's complete to his receiver, Godwin. And finally, down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. Now the Steelers going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they get it with just 19 seconds left on the clock. And the question now, how do they want to work the clock here on 1st and goal? A field goal would give them the late lead. And he's got it. It's caught for a touchdown. And they have taken the lead here in the final seconds.
How many people are watching this one right here who gave up? Because that score, they might want to try and rush back into this stadium.
Yeah, what looks like is going to be the game-deciding score, although a little bit of time left, so you can't count your chickens before they're hatched.
Well, they better come back in here and watch this one because you and I, we're not going anywhere. We want to see this one play out.
He's got it. And they will not go quietly as we are back to a 2-score game. And the formula there on the 2-point try, they go 5 wide. Not even the option to hand the ball off. They got it.
They tried to create space, and there isn't a whole lot of it there. For the defense, what you're trying to do is make sure that someone, if they're going to catch the ball, make them catch it behind you because they run out of space with the back line. But in this case, the offense figured it out.
Jackson to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off by Cameron Sutton. And the return stops at the 39-yard line. And the knee is taken for the Steelers out of the victory formation. And the clock will now stop as a timeout is called with 5 seconds left.
319! Line's 50, line's 50! I'm coming after you!
And they will take a knee here. So this one in the win column for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And it wasn't really always pretty. They had their bumps and bruises. Really, both sides did. But they did what they needed to do at home to get the win.
Yeah, they really had to grind this one out, didn't they? Because nothing came easy. Every snap was a major league brawl. They had to win at the line of scrimmage, win downfield. They got all those things accomplished. But to win a close one like this, you know, every team wants to be physical. We've heard that a million times, right? But those who are mentally tough, those are the teams that you have to deal with in the playoffs.